his masteries, his item build, his play, everything spoke about the planning that he had for this matchup. And Levy walks away with a very well-deserved win. And a guy like this, to me, is someone who's a threat to take the tournament, to take the 1v1s.
Yeah, the only issue I feel is if he reveals a style like this.
I believe it is so much damage.
The problem is that Queen doesn't get usually the problem is that Queen doesn't get value from her ulti as much.
Yeah.
The same thing kind of can be said from
carrier proc and get the extra damage, then the Jace can Q onto you free basically, and it's kind of, there's a back and forth there.
Yeah, I wonder if damage...
Jace E?
Well, the Jace E can knock her out of it for sure, but she'll still bounce back far enough. But I wonder if the damage actually still sticks on the Q. It used to be like super flashable, but I somehow feel that even if the Queen gets the kind of the leap off to dodge the Q landing, she'll still take a significant amount of damage.
Yeah, I'm not super sure about that interaction, but either way, it is pretty interesting because you spoke about the Shock Blast, right? You spoke about hitting the back range minions and everything, and Quinn, it's kind of similar that you're dealing with, right? The Quinn Q, you can push, you can hit the range minions with that as well, and you also have to, both champions want to keep minions in between them and the other champion, but not get too close to those minions to get splashed by the abilities.
Yeah, and you spoke about this kind of hybrid AD style last game where yes, you are an AD carry that can go all in, but you're focusing more on sustaining, become a bit of a bruiser. Uzi's doing something similar. Very heavy on mana regen, 1.7 in total. He has a lifesteal Quint as well built in, and he is running 18-0-12. 12 points in resolve, really going for a more sustained approach here.
Yeah, I think this is really smart, and it'll be interesting to see if he is even going to go like one step past that to do what Levy did and kind of start building some armor and that kind of thing.
And if we contrast that to Optimus, he is definitely much more around the kind of all-in aspect. He's running 7.5% CDR. So basically what he wants to do is get a good trade and go back in again and kind of outpace the cooldowns from Uzi. But that generally means stylistically that Uzi's approach is safer for basically a 1v1 holistically.
Yeah, I would think so. I think going for CDR is pretty risky. It's something where you have to constantly get those trades. You kind of have to constantly do it, and your opponent can play around that and back off.
Yeah, we see that in the Masters as well. Yes, both of these guys are running Warlords, but there are 12 points in Cunning.
Yeah.
That's the middle tree for people that actually don't know what they're called, which is basically the all-in aspect, you know, where you run things like the Green Father's Gift or Merciless, which basically gives you much more execute damage.
Yeah, and even I believe it's Assassin Mastery, which is the extra damage. So he has the Ignite too. So everything speaks about the fact that he wants to all in. But the problem with that is it becomes pretty choreographed. When you see your opponent is running CDR, if you click on them, you see that kind of thing. You see that, you know, he is running Green Father's Grace, all this. You just know that you have to play a bit more defensively.
And then stylistically, how do you beat that? Well, you just pressure him and you get some allies, right? And those allies are the minions. And because as Uzi, you can have more liberties when you're pushing. You can take some damage, sustain it back up, whereas Optimus, he really wants to hold himself for that one big moment. Pretty poor Q in there from Optimus, honestly, allowing Uzi to bounce back. Uzi, all he needs to do is keep his range and avoid the EQ combos around level 5.
Exactly. Uzi has more sustain, he has the defensive trees, he has the lifesteal and the mana regen in the masteries, and he has, honestly, in my opinion, a much easier win condition than his opponent, and it's kind of the same sort of thing that we saw Levy force his opponent into, where Optimus is eventually probably going to come to the realization where it's like, crap, I have to all in, don't I?
Oops, I didn't do it. Strong trade here in between from Uzi. Gets the CS advantage, sees a way in. Optimus, even though these styles are like nuances, these are still champions with a lot of high base damages, so that in itself is honestly the first layer of decision making. Can I hit this guy in the face? Yes, then go for it. And we've seen a continuous minion advantage here from Uzi.
Yeah.
Versus a champion that's generally known for pushing on Jace.
12 CS up already is pretty big. He is going to be able to close the gap a little bit, but Optimus is getting relatively low on HP. If Uzi can get there, he got the Relic! And he gets both summoners from Optimus, which is brutal.
Oh, close there though, because if that Relic goes to Optimus, suddenly all our theory goes out of the window and Uzi gets smashed in the head. And even though he was so confident he was getting that Relic that he did not even want to use the exhaust on maximum range
the barrier,
to slow Optimus.
Yeah, and that's the fact is, it wasn't even really that close because he still has both the summoners. He did get a little bit low on HP, but now he bases, he's going to have a much better buy, I would assume here. We'll see what he decides to spend all his gold on, so it's going to be pretty aggressive. Not going to go for the cloth armor route. I actually think that after
you could argue with it.
Yeah, I think that when you're already this far ahead, your opponent has already kind of blown his summoners and stuff, you can definitely afford to go for those more defensive routes.
Yeah, unless you're Uzi and you just feel so confident in like knowing the damage range that you can optimize your style. This is probably like a higher yield but lower variance if you go for the sword. Yes, you get screwed if you mess up, but if you keep the push going, then obviously you can lock this Jace on a turret and he has nothing else to do.
And the fact of the matter is, when you're 2 summoners to 0, Uzi might just want to kill this guy, right? Like, people, yes, winning on CS is super legit, but you'd rather kill the guy,
I mean,
right?
in front of the crowd has definitely shown us what they think about somebody who plays for CS.
The crowd wants blood!
Like gladiators?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the Gladiator movie, except in this movie, they don't respect the mercy. The mercy of leaving your opponent alive and killing only the minions.
Thumbs down every time.
Thumbs down every time. Yeah, exactly.
This is actually like a hidden thing that's overlooked as well. There's no safety in brushes versus the Quinn, obviously, since you have that reveal.
Map hacks.
Good poke from Optimus. Answers there on Uzi. Uzi looking for some sustain before he goes in again. Good vault. Good answer on the trades. Every time Uzi vaults, he's getting a shock blast in the face. He's going low right now, though.
Tag. There's the exhaust. He's looking for the kill here. Should have it. It's hilarious.
I think we're about to find out. Do we believe, then, that this is also one of those games where the hybrid bruiser-style Draven reigns supreme? I think I've seen 1v1 Dravens where if you expected a little bit of armor, you actually end up outweighing because, like, it's so physical-centric. Only Froggen would do that. Froggen would show up to a tournament and do that. But yeah, that was a Zillion. They actually spelled out Zillion back then in the bands as well. That's why I'm always looking for the hidden message in the mirror match. Let's see if there's any...
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we go.
Yeah, they're catching each other's axes. Look at... See, he caught them both. He has both axes.
It's over.
He has both axes.
Oh, they were testing it. They're testing it. They're talking to each other right now. So they're on comms, by the way, guys. They're on the same team. And that's really cool. Sportsmanship here. Just testing the mechanic if it's true.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. So when you both have one axe, if you catch your opponent's axe, it's now 2-0, and the other guy is so boned. So this is definitely going to be a fun one.
All right, real quick before the mayhem starts. It is Resolve second, so 18-0-12 on the side of Karsa, and pretty standard AD carry page. Gonna look for Albus real quick right there. He is running Resolve as well, slightly different execution of it, but also super standard page here. So they're actually just complete mirror.
It's the manliest way to play.
Yep. Your axe? My axe.
Yeah.
You do this? I do
My
this.
axe and your axe.
Yep.
What happens when you already have two axes and you catch their
I
axe?
think you just reset it. Because like
I would
you can technically have like be throwing 3 axes as well on a Draven, right?
Does he just debut a third hand?
it was a character from Street Fighter called.
Oh, the guy with the 6 arms or whatever? Yeah.
It was me all along.
They all just start popping out.
Alright, Albus actually reached his level 2 spike earlier by pushing. And definitely got a couple of good trades here. Karsa sustaining. You said it would be an all-in, but I feel like you have so much time to opt out. Because it's quite obvious which direction this fight is going to be trending, right? That you just like end up getting out-sustained, and then you base, and then it goes for, I think, a forced all-in due to CS.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I was just thinking more, it seemed kind of like a fun champion among teammates.
Yeah, mano a mano.
We're like a support and a jungler, let's just level 2 and then kill each other and see who wins. But it depends how hard they really want to try, right? You can have fun picks and stuff and still go super, super try hard.
Yeah, double cancel here. You really, in the Draven versus Draven mirror, you want to...
Oh, here we go.
Hang on. Karsa's winning early. Albus is dying. Karsa wins. Damage output from LeBlanc is very like burst centric.
It's
so you can
super predictable now,
especially where LeBlanc was played in top lane. It's kind of this AD hybrid top. I'm sure they've all played Ezreal. It's not that hard of a champion. Even I can play Ezreal. Just not that well.
Yeah. I mean, you can play it.
I'm physically able to select the champion. Alright, let's dive into Runes of Masteries real quick, guys. There's armor on the yellows for Smeb, and the rest is just raw AP. So that's 26 ability power right there, and raw magic pen. So Smeb is as all-in can get. Masteries as well. Ferocity 12, Cunning 18. So again, playing very, very forward and all-in centric.
And Reckless, we can assume it is into Resolve as into Defensive Masteries because he doesn't have Biscuits. And he's actually playing Ignite. He didn't decide to go for the barrier, which I'm pretty surprised about. So he's not actually going to be able to have that kind of defensive advantage. And I would have thought he'd want to kind of out-sustain his opponent, poke him out with Qs, sit back. LeBlanc's not going to have the lifesteal.
So we just checked. Barring any errors in the research and my spelling, Reckless is running 12-18.
Okay, so that's very aggressive, actually, especially in addition to that Ignite.
Yeah.
Reckless obviously has a very different way, a different idea of playing this, and it certainly can work, and if it becomes a straight-up 1v1, like all-in damage type battle, it's going to work, but you would think that the AD carry would want to try to poke at his opponent.
Yeah, we'd have to see if we can spot a Thunderlord spark. Like, we're not in-game in our clients here, but that could definitely confirm the fact that he is running the 12-18. It would make sense to like fight fire with fire. You don't need to go for the sustained kind of playstyle in terms of minion push because you're going to be generating that anyway stylistically, champ versus champ. So you may just want to be able to punish him after a bad trade, but that damage right there.
Speaking of bad trades, I mean, that's the thing, and it gets pretty scary. If that W connects, that's pretty brutal, right?
So that's 2 mistakes from Reckless already. He walks up in clear path with no minion blocking the potential counter chain. And then he doesn't land the Q as Smeb dashes in because he's a bit too slow. Yeah,
the chain is really what it's about. You can't allow yourself to get that full chain because the chain itself will proc the passive. And in goes Smeb. I think he wants the all-in.
Oh, that was well played by Reckless. He steps forward because he knows the chain would otherwise hit him, trying to hide in the creeps.
Yeah, that was really close. And it's a trade of summoner spells 1-for-1. It's the exhaust for the ignite. So Smeb does still have his aggressive summoner, and Reckless does have the defensive one.
Yeah, definitely so. But exhaust is just so valuable here versus Walk if she ever dashed in. Again, she's super telegraphed.
Yep. Reckless also did use his potion there, so doesn't have that available. Smeb is holding on to his. We may see him pop that if he does want to go for the all-in. It could actually be kind of what gives that away.
But Reckless on first base definitely wants to pick up a null magic mantle. Just get that somewhere in, because again, it works against the ability so well. A couple of extra points in MR, just having you survive, and then later on your attack speed will give you much more value in extended trades.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see if he does like to do that, though, over the double Dorans, which seems like pretty much everyone goes for.
Yeah,
we haven't seen too many people elect for those kind of more pure defense options. And maybe Reckless will be the one to kind of break the mold there.
Yeah, you will get a minor CS lead here, powering any issues. He is an 80 carry. They can lost it on their turret.
Doesn't have his support to help him, though.
Aha! Even better. No support to screw up that CS. Can I get the cannon relic stack, please? Oops! Ah, my bad. Running around runes. Happens. Alright, Smeb is going for a freeze, I think. Nope, actually he wants to balance down. That's interesting.
He just wants to be able to bounce the passive, but he actually procced the passive on the cannon and then used the Q on it, so it didn't bounce everything. So he did kind of mess that up, and as a result, not going to push in quite as fast, but I don't know if it really would have made a difference as far as minions denied. I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't.
Might be able to stop the base, so does he want to?
Smeb gonna punish that? I think he's scared of like an EW combo, because Smeb was pretty high on health. If you're wondering how that would freeze, it would basically just mean you keep the wave at that side of the map and then you bounce it, but
yeah,
it's probably still better to clear if you can. Gives Reckless 1 relic advantage.
Smeb also going for Lost Chapter, so is picking up something for his mana regen, able to kind of play a little bit of a longer game in that way, and is able to sidestep. And Reckless is actually pretty low on mana here. It looks like he may, nope, he's gonna bounce back. Trade his summoners again.
Yeah, but they're not double popping him on the first trade, so they saved some for the second. Reckless right now, this is the problem, is if you go low on the first engage, Smeb will threaten you for a secondary all in here.
Yeah, and when he's getting zoned off the mini wave, he can't actually go for much, and the chain is there.
Oh,
it's a turret shot! Oh, he got him.
Argentino Blanc versus 80 carries, man. And I wonder,
maybe Crepo.
Let's see. This does feel like a match where Sindar just had such an easy push.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that if summoner spells aren't changed, it's pretty interesting because we did see the fact that Maple was not running exhaust, which you might be like,
stays on you 2 seconds after the ultimate, right?
Yeah, I do believe so. I mean, I don't know the exact timing, but it's a flat damage reduction.
Yeah.
It is a buff.
With a lingering effect.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the, if we're looking at if it ever gets to level 6, QTV wants to swap before or during the ulti. Ideally, you want to swap mid-ulti animation, so you soak the ulti, and then have a trade right after on the second round of cooldowns from the Syndra that you also get double reduced damage, one from your passive and one from the R lingering effect.
Yeah.
But that is if it gets to level 6, because it could just be an early push Fiesta for Maple.
It certainly could, and the thing is, for QTV, if Syndra gets 6, you have to either ult or exhaust that ultimate, or you're probably just going to take simply way too much damage. And that's how Bengi ended up losing this matchup, getting a full unexhausted ultimate on him, and it's just too much to take. You got chunks so low, and Maple is going to try to stay out of range, going to try to poke him out, hit those Qs, hit those Es, and look for the trades on that.
And definitely initiate the ulti out of exhaust range, just
Exactly.
like we were talking about earlier. You do not want to get that ulti exhaust, and for QTV, it's paramount that he does exactly that. Again, just like any 1v1 starts, people hit the first creep just a ton, want to get that down, focus on single creeps, single melees. QTV is kind of already looking to yield the push just a bit. Maple can get those range creep down.
And Maple is starting the W, actually.
Oh, that's
so he took the W. He wants to just be able to kind of harass this out, try to get some early poke onto QTV, and it does have very good range, so it is interesting to see that he is electing to go for that. QTV, I mean, level 1, you're not really looking to do too much. You are much more hoping for that level 2. You hit your E, and then you start to get really, really good trades.
Yeah, QTV is running 0-18-12. So he's doing a Thunderlord's Urgot with then a Resolve side spec.
And the full mana regen there. So he has all the HP regen talents and the mana regen talents, which I really do like quite a lot. And it may allow him to kind of skip something like a tier that Impact went into, right? You can go for something like a Hex Drinker instead. You can go for more defensive options because you may not need to itemize as heavily into the mana regen. And that can help you to survive an all-in that may come from Maple. And if you can live through that ultimate, if it gets there, obviously, and kind of get up in his face and really start to kind of get that fight close and personal, you could win.
Yeah, definitely so. Maple right now, honestly, wants to get the most out of his spells. That's why he's lost sitting purely with auto attacks. Doing a decent job so far, not dropping too much. Yes, still trailing a few ahead. That's a good connect here on level 3, obviously. Sidesteps to counter damage. That's a really beautiful trade.
Oh, he's looking
Notice how he's not getting any minion aggro.
Yep.
He did not weave in an auto attack there. He can walk in between the range creeps and pop Q because Q is a spell, and again, spells do not draw minion aggro here. He also sidestepped the counter W from Maple, so that was, in that microcosm, perfect play by QTV.
Yeah, it was very well done. Maple, though, has the push advantage, as you said he would. And he's going to get that early base and likely pick up a Doran's or something. So he goes double Doran's, he gets the Fairy Charm. So it's all mana regen. He wants to stay out of range of his opponent, spam out these spells, and try to just win it out. And probably either wave control or just an all-in from out of range of his opponent. And QTV is so behind in the push, so he is going to be late to back. But it's very interested to see. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what he's actually going to be able to buy. Like, does he go defensive here straight off the bat, or does he go double Doran's into a longsword? Oh, it's tier anyway. Wow, I'm actually shocked.
Yeah, he just specs really deep into...
And Fairy Charm? I actually think this doesn't really make super a lot of sense when you have full mana regen masteries, because I don't think you're actually going to
Oof. I mean, Urgot ooms very quickly. Stop freeze here. Before we kind of go back in the build here, we saw a couple of minions denied, but obviously you don't want to let the Urgot arrive on a full push, so you want to strike this balance where you deny 1 or 2 creeps by pushing the wave into position, and then still get the push back.
Yeah, well, QTV, we'll see if it's certainly not going to have any mana problem now. I mean, Fairy Charm, tier,
be surprised, man.
Mandatory regen masteries. Look at that damage, though. Even without really any AD, that is a massive amount of damage that he's able to do, and every time you connect.
Beautiful E placement as well. That was at the edge, so just like... This guy, like, if you miss your E on Urgot, you get counter-traded so hard because you're utterly useless. So this is one spell you need to connect because it sets everything up.
Yeah, the cooldown is pretty long here early on as well, and going to connect another. And if you're wondering why he's using the shield when he does connect that, it adds the slow. So it does put the slow onto that.
But if we bring Hyder Critical, he would not be in range for a second hit after the slow. So technically that was a wasted shield, which got him poked right after. So we're really judging like these micro trades here, but it can always mean the difference in the end.
Yeah, it certainly can. A lot of these matches have come down to very, very small differences, and QTV able to absorb a lot of that damage. And you know, if this does go further, will he pick up the null magic mantle? Will he build more defensively?
I mean, he
has a lot of mana regen already, and he could just kind of turn himself into a semi-tank.
Yeah, and the thing that we kind of overlooked with this heavy kind of reliance on mana is that he can use more spells on the wave now.
That's fair.
And then leverage the push. We see a level 6 on Maple right now. QTV hit him as well. He has control because he has a zone control from E. I like this from Maple.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. He lands a stun, pushes him back, able to take away that health relic, but does get a trade on the way out. Procs of Thunder, what does it look like?
QTV has to be careful because a lot of Urgot players, they get so sucked in and they're walking in range to do another Q. They forget that E is a dot, and dots draw tower aggro. And so you can really like mess yourself up right there. Maple is slowly learning in this matchup the cadence and kind of the timing where QTV wants to use that kind of poison charge. So he's been dodging a lot more lately.
Yeah, he has been doing very well with that. And the CS is very close. It's only going to be one separating these two players as they do base once again here. Maple actually taking a pretty safe base there, but QTV will go back, and now he's building towards the Hex Drinker.
Yeah, complete reset in the middle. I like the Null Magic Mantle. You do not want to get a position where you make a mistake, you know? It's kind of a safety net. Maybe you can survive it with Perfect Exhaust, with Perfect Ultimate, but you don't always have the guarantee that you will get into that position.
And Maple as well, picking up the cloth armor, right? That's at least something. The E8 from Urgot, I believe, does shred some armor as well. So there's the armor shred there, and you're not going to have a lot as well already. So just look at the damage. It does get quite high if you can connect a couple of those Prey Seekers. Like that is a Thunderlord proc right there. The double Q plus the E, the first instance of that E counts. So you can proc it pretty easily.
And obviously no need for Warlord to sustain because he's so zone reliant, keeping Maple at bay here. It is slowly turning into a CS match, so we got to keep tracking that. There's a 2 CS lead here in the end if everything plays out well.
And what do you think? Should QTV have bunched the minions before he based, you know, to try to kind of get that pushing against him to deny a couple minions? Is that worth the time that he would delay his base? Because Maple had left first. He had the option of doing that. I'm just not sure. You know,
I don't think he knew Maple was basing. That's under the assumption. I think you can work from that under the assumption of perfect information. But you never know if this guy's in the brush waiting to push out anyways. Because if you stack a wave and the guy fast pushes you, then you just got played.
Baited and outsmarted.
Yeah. Good old baited and outsmarted. Good poke here. Basically predictive movement, you know, as you know somebody has to walk up for the final CS, put a Q in his face and he walks straight into it. It's those little things that mid laner's so good at.
And QTV double popping the potions, he's going to be right back to full HP.
Yeah, we're looking at a level 9 spike from Maple if he keeps control of this matchup. If this is perfect CS, he is trailing by 1, right? So there's 4 more CS in there, so they're equal. Now he's 1 CS ahead on the side of Maple, QTV falling behind.
Yeah, I did miss the melee.
And it actually doesn't matter if they're equal or not. It matters who kills the last wave first, right? Even if you would equal out the next wave.
And QTV is actually quite a bit behind on experience. I mean, he still didn't get 8 off of that wave, so You know, we have Maple has been 8 for a couple minions here.
The problem is QTV is never getting the push, so he needs to technically be ahead 5 minions for this playstyle to scale. So I think what we're going to see is on the next wave that meets us, not a cannon wave, QTV might be prepping for an all-in.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to because he's been giving
right here. This might be it on this shield here.
Oh, it's kind of tough now. Maple is just reading like a book. He backs off anytime he comes close, and Maple is playing it out very intelligently, not really giving QTV the opportunity to get in range.
I think the correct play for QTV is to fake the all-in, forcing Maple to spam these Qs on max range and managate him. Put him low enough that he can't actually win the fight anymore.
But with the Lost Chapter, with double Dorans and the Fairy Charm, does he actually know?
Yeah, he has to go for another base because he can't actually commit to a fight anymore. So it's a smart base by Maple. It's forced from QTV not going for the actual all-in, but the threat of the all-in is enough. The wave full resets as well because Maple was pushing. There's 15 creeps remaining.
What do you think about Sork Boots here? Because I mean, there already is some flat MR from the null. So
I think the fact that he like has to face a Hex Ranker makes it good, and the fact that he actually mobility is a big component here.
Wants to dodge out the ease.
Dodge out the ease and just get back in the lane quicker.
Yeah.
This is just a push. Like right now, because of Boots 2, he's here already. He would probably arrive like a few seconds later. He's setting up for 9 more CS. Just like you said as well, dodging the ease. I think Maple set up for victory here.
Yeah, I mean, QTV has missed.
Oh, this is it. He has to go. He's going all in right now. All right, connects E, misses. No, he gets it.
He didn't ult.
He didn't ult.
He needed to ult there.
He could zone though. He could go for zone play. Maple's low. Maple has to walk back in. The next E from Maple is crucial.
Oh, good connection there.
Side steps from QTV. QTV is no boots right here, so he could have probably went for more movement speed here. Juking out the Q for 1. This is good. He can walk up.
Also bought a second Fairy Charm instead of health bots.
Yeah.
And now he's quite low, so I think that was a bit of a silly decision here, but
I think QTV should have forced.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was in range for the ultimate. It's now one wave away from this being game over.
And he's basically pushing the wave. Maple can let the wave go under turret because QTV can no longer swap under turret because, yeah, he'll be tanking the bloody turret. So
I think Maple has this. There's a lot of minions.
Yeah, he's safety under turret. Remember, there is still a Hex Ranker.
Yeah, there's 4 minions. That's all the minions he needs.
Oh, one CS going under turret, but it's so much damage.
Oh, so close! QTV needed to all in earlier. We had the chance.
Mata. It's really fun to see just so much personality kind of come out of him. Right? Yeah, safety? Yes, please. Sign me up. Alright, this is where we want to look at Runes and Masteries. Yesterday, Mata was like running a 1% crit. He no longer is. Okay, he is actually. Okay, 1% crit, 14% attack speed. He has running. Mata's running magic resistance.
Ooh, that's a bit unfortunate.
Unlucky.
He's preparing for the static shift, Crepo.
Yeah.
He's thinking about the late game.
Late game. He is running Zale's favorite page, which is 18-0-12.
But he's not taking Perseverance. And I do kind of like Perseverance over Insight. It's like, how many times are you really going to get advantage out of the summoner cooldown? Like, are you really going to get in, all in with your double summoners, then walk out, then get them back, and then all in right away instantly?
But if you're as good as Mata, how many times are you going to be low enough for Perseverance?
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, you just don't take damage.
If you don't take damage, maximize
when you
that
get
shield.
to a certain skill level, the auto attacks apparently do not deal damage to your character anymore. That's fantastic.
That's what it feels like playing against some players. Prey's super standard 80 carry page, guys, but he is not running MR. Masteries, Prey's running 18-0-12 as well. And, more importantly, he's running Perseverance.
He's got my vote.
He's got the seal of approval from Zale.
Perseverance for 1v1s.
But we're looking at the screen here again. Mata full HP, Prey on 60%, so maybe the theory does apply.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. We'll see. Prey should hit level 2 here faster.
Yeah,
we'll
7th minion. First melee creep for the second wave, right there. Pop.
But this is actually pretty scary, though. I mean, when Mata hits 2, it's a lot scarier because he can just dash in on him and look for the trades, then dash out.
Oh, yeah. I really like the concept of like exit creeps on both Yasuo and Aurelia. And he also did an auto Q right after.
This could be an all-in. I think Prey's in trouble. If he hits the Q, Prey's probably dead.
Oh, that's a bad barrier.
Oh, this is really going to be close. Friend? Oh, he's done. The crowd loves it.